Hello my scholars, this is the 8th of the series of clips to tackle the 2019 JAMB past question for mathematics. In this clip I'll be solving questions 71 to question 80. I have provided a link in the description below where you can access the videos of other clips that provide solutions to the questions of this year. So let's move on to question number 71. We have if y equals 8x cubed minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 1, find the square y and the x squared. So this is a question on differentiation. It's very easy. What we are asked to do is to differentiate twice. So let's first produce the question. Given that y equals, we have 8x cubed minus 3x squared, we have plus 7x minus 1. So if we are to find the y, the x, so that would be, remember in differentiation, so that would be 3 times 8, which is 24, x, 3 minus 1, that is 2, okay? We have minus 2 times 3, that is 6, x, 2 minus 1, that is 1. Okay, so we don't need to put it. So we would have, this is raised to power 1. 1 times 7, we have 7. Raised to power x, 7 times x. This is raised to power 1. 1 minus 1, that is 0. So remember, this is already gone. So x raised to power 0 is still 1. So 1 times 7, that gives us 7. So I can pull this out to make it faster for us and easier. So the square y over the x squared, that means we have to differentiate further, the next differentiation. So we would have 2 times 24, that is 48x. 2 minus 1, that is still 1. So that is x raised to power 1. But you can just leave it at x minus, this is raised to power 1. 1 times 6, that is still 6. You have x. 1 minus 1, that is 0. So remember, anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So we have 1 times 6, that is still 6. So our answer will be 48x minus 6. So join me as we go through our options together. We have option A. Alright, question 72. Differentiate 2x over sine x with respect to x. So in this question, we are required to use the quotient rule. So the quotient rule, so required, we'll have the question 2x over sine x. Okay, so the quotient rule, we have so the quotient rule states v du dx, okay, minus u dv dx over v squared. Okay, so where this represents our u, this represents our v. Okay, so let's take it. So we are asked to first multiply our v, which is sine x. So that will be sine x multiplies, when we differentiate our u, when we differentiate 2x, we are still going to get 2. Okay, all right, minus our u, which is 2x. When we differentiate our v, which is sine x, so when we differentiate sine x, we get cos x, okay, all over. Remember, our v is sine x, so that is sine x times sine x, that gives you sine square x. Okay, so already here we would have 2 times sine x, we have 2 sine x over sine square x, isn't it? Minus 2x cos x over sine square x. So sine x strikes out the square, so we'll be left with 2 into brackets. So this is gone. 2 into brackets 1 over sine x minus, we have 2x, okay, into brackets, cos x, this means cos x over sine x times sine x, isn't it? And we can see that 1 over sine x, or inverse of sine x, is cosec x. So I would have 2 cosec, let me in shortened form, 2 cosec x minus 2x into brackets, cos x over sine x, that is inverse of tan, so that means cot x times 1 over sine x, okay? So I still have 2 cosec x, rather, minus 2x into brackets cot x, okay? So we know that 1 over sine x, or inverse of sine x, is cosec x, okay? So when we look at both sides, we see that 2 is common, 2 cosec x is common, so we would have 2 cosec x into brackets 1, because 2 cosec x times 1 gives you 1, minus x into brackets, you can see this, okay? So we have 2 cosec x times here, 2 cosec x times this place, so we would have, just look at it closely, already we have x because we have 2 outside, so 2 times x gives us 2x, that is why we are taking our time, just we are going to get it slowly, okay? So the 2 is outside, so we have cosec x, we have cosec x, so what we're left with is cot x, okay? So let's expand our brackets, so we'd have 2 cosec x, right, into bracket 1 minus x times cot x, so we have x cot x. So join me as we go through our options. Option D. Over to question 73. Find the distance between the point C 2, 2 and point D 5, 6. So join me as we provide the solutions to this question. So the distance between this point C and D, we can have it with the formula b square equals c square plus d square, where our point C has the values of 2 and 2, point C 2 and 2, okay? So we can label this as x1, y1, and point D has the values of 5, 6. So this is x2 and y2, okay? So now let's prefer the solution. So we have b squared equals our c squared, which is x2 minus x1 plus, then our d squared will be y2 minus y1. Is that okay? So now let's plot in our values. So we have b squared equals x2, that is 5, minus x1, that's 2. Remember, it's squared. Okay? Alright, so plus y2, that is 6, and y1, that is 2. That's 6 minus 2 raised to the power 2. Okay? So we have b squared equals 5 minus 2. Let's make it a little bit easier and faster. 5 minus 2, that is 3. So 3 raised to the power 2 plus 6 minus 2, that is 4. 4 raised to the power 2. So we'd have 3 raised to the power 2 is 9. 4 raised to the power 2, that's 16. Okay? So we have b squared equals 9 plus 16, that gives us 25. So what do? We square root both sides to eliminate the square. We have to find the distance, not the square of the distance. So we'd have this So the square strikes out the square root. So b equals square root of 25, and that is 5. So the distance between point C and D is 5. So join me as we go through our options. Option D. Now to question 74. Find the equation of the line perpendicular to the line 4y equals 7x plus 3, which passes through -3 and 1. Remember, it's very good and safe for you to practice and prepare yourself with our simulated CBT exams, and we have designed this for your convenience, as we have the JAMB CBT past question for your mobile apps. We have the JAMB CBT past question for your softwares on your computers, on your laptops, on your desktops, and what have you. So which of these apps will work for you? Just go to the Play Store, or I've provided the link in the description below where you can access the Myschool CBT exam for your mobile app and the Myschool CBT exam for your software on your computers. So join me as we continue with the solution to question number 74. So at first we have the equation of the line, which is 4y equals 7x plus 3. Okay, so recall that the equation of the line that includes the intercept is y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope, don't forget that, and b stands for the intercept. Sometimes they replace this with c, so I will just say whichever one works for you, okay? So we can start with c or b. Alright, so let's make this look like what we have here. So instead of we having 4y, then we would have y equals dividing through by 4. So we would have y equals 7 over 4x plus 3 over 4. Alright, so recall that the perpendicular of a line is a negative reciprocal of the slope. So if slope, that means the perpendicular will be negative reciprocal rather, and where reciprocal means 1 all over. So this implies that it will be 1 over our slope, a negative of the reciprocal of our slope, okay? So given from the equation, we have our slope as 7 over 4, okay? So that means -1 divided by 7 over 4. Okay, so we proceed. We have -1 times 4 over 7. Cool, right? -1 times 4, so we would have -4 over 7. Very well gotten, right? So now let's proceed. So we are given which passes through points -3 and 1. And this represents our x and y. Alright, so let's prepare the equation of the line once again that is perpendicular to this. Okay, so we would have y equals mx plus b. Okay, so looking at this, we already have it as y equals, so the perpendicular, the slope, okay, that we've gotten here will be -4 over 7. Remember, it's a negative reciprocal, so we have -4 over 7 as a coefficient of x plus b. So looking here, so we have x as -3. So we have y equals -4 over 7 into brackets -3 plus b. Okay, so recall that we have y as 1. So I can retract this, having it as 1. Very well. So we'd have y equals -4 times 3 times -3. That gives us 12 over 7. Okay. Plus b. All right. So we can send this outside. So we have 1 minus 12 over 7 equals b. finding the LCM. 7, so we have 7 minus 7 is 7, that's 1 times 12, that is 12 equals B. So 7 minus 12, that is minus 5 over 7 equals B. Already we've gotten our intercept B as minus 5 over 7. So let's replicate our equation once again. Y equals mx plus B. Okay, so let's transfer what we have here to the next page on the board. This is super easy, and I can also encourage you to go through the clip once again for clarity on some of the steps that we've been using so far. Okay, so we have the equation of our line, y equals mx plus b. So recall that our slope m is now minus 4 over 7. Okay, so we have y equals minus 4 over 7 of x. All right, plus now our b, the intercept, which is minus 5 over 7. Okay, so we'd have y equals minus 4 over 7x plus times minus, that is minus 5 over 7. Okay, so now let's find the LCM. The LCM here is 7. Okay, equals y. 7, we have 7 is 7, that is 1. 1 times minus 4x. Okay, 7 is 7, that is 1 times minus 5. That gives you minus 5. Okay, so if you cross multiply, so we have 7y equals minus 4x minus 5 rather. Okay, so now let's just bring everything together to a particular spot. So I would have 7y, if the minus 4 crosses over, it becomes plus 4x. The minus 5 crosses over, it becomes positive, plus 5 equals 0. So join me as we look through our options. 7y plus 4x plus 5 equals 0. So that's option A. So you should always know that this channel is very helpful and very supportive of whatever exam you are trying to write concerning mathematics. Always remember to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and tap on bell notification to get informed as we release the other clips. Now to question number 75. We have a table. So the table above is the distribution of data with mean equals to 3. Find the value of y. So it's very easy to solve. Okay, so at first we have to prepare a table. Recall that the formula for a group data, the mean of a group data, the mean equals the summation of fx, that is frequency times score, which is on this column, over summation f, that is the total of our frequency. Okay, so we have our score from the table, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our frequencies, then we have our frequency times score. So how did I go about this? 1 times 2y minus 2 gives you 2y minus 2. 2 times y, that is 2y. 2 times minus 1, that's minus 2. We have 3 times 3y minus 4. So 3 times 3y, that gives us 9y. 3 times minus 4, minus 12. So till we have all of them like that. Okay, so you solve straight down like that. So going ahead, we'll see that 4 multiplies 3 minus y gives us this, just for emphasis. Okay, so recall that the mean that we are given for the group data equals 3. So that means 3 equals, so when we sum up the column for our frequency times score, we have 26 minus y over, when we sum up the column for the frequency, we have 3y plus 2. Okay, so let's replicate this to this part. So we have 3 equals 26 minus y over 3y plus 2. So we can cross multiply. So we'd have 3 into bracket 3y plus 2 equals 26 minus y. Okay, so let's expand the bracket. So we have 3 times 3y, we would have 9y. 3 times 2, that is 6, equals 26 minus y. So at this point, we can collect like terms. So, all right, so we'd have 9y plus y equals 26 plus 6. Okay, minus 6 rather. Because anytime a sign crosses over to the other side, it changes, okay? So we have 9y plus y, that is 10y equals 26 minus 6, that's 20. Dividing both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 10. So y equals 2. So join me as we go through our options. Option B. So this is question number 76. Okay, so we have a diagram which is an histogram here. So the histogram above represents the number of candidates who did further mathematics examination in a school. How many candidates scored more than 40? Okay, so we have this side for number of students, and these are their scores. Okay, so the question requires that we find number of students that scored more than 40. So if we look at the bar for 40, so this is 40. So any other score higher than 40 is what we are looking at. So that means student that scored 50, student that scored 60, student that scored 70, student that scored 80, student that scored 90 and 100. So let's look at scores higher than 40. So let's trace the bar together. So when you look at the bar for score 50, okay, so that's 55, okay. So for score 50, just hang on with me, that is 55. We add it to score 40. For score 50, that is 55. Then for score 60, trace along with me, we have 45. Okay, I'm just noting it down on the board, just hanging there. Okay, so we have for score 70, when we trace it down, that gives you 30. That means 30 students scored 70. Okay, so just recall that we have 55 added up to 45, then to 30. Okay, so coming back to score 80, we have, when you trace it, we have 15 students who scored 80. Okay. All right, so when we look at students who scored 90, we just have 5 of them. Okay, then let's look at number of students that scored 100. So there is none that scored 100. So just look at it. The number of students that scored more than 40. So we had 55, we had 45, we had 30, we had 15, we had 5. Okay, so now let's add it together. So join me as I've prepared all of the students that scored more than 40. Okay, so we have 55 plus 45, that's 100. 100 plus 30, that is 130. 130 plus 15, that gives you 145. 145 plus 5, that's 150 plus 0, that's still 150. Okay, I added this 0 as the number of students that scored 100. So there were 0 students, or there were no students that scored 100. Okay, so adding it up, we have 150 students who scored more than 40. So let's go through our options together. So we have option C. Now to question number 77. So we have the diagram here. Okay, this represents your radius R, which is 7 centimeter, and this is the angle subtended here, and that is 57 degrees. Okay, so in the circle above with the center O and radius 7 centimeter, find the length of the arc AB, when the angle AOB equals 57. Okay, so now let's pull out the values that we have. Okay, so we have the angle AOB equals 57 degrees. Okay, the radius is 7 centimeter. And recall that the formula for the length of an arc equals your angle theta over 360 times 2 times pi, then times r, your radius r. Okay, so let's slot in the value. So we have theta as 57, okay? So we'd have 57 over 360 times 2 times our pi, which is 22 over 7, okay? Times our radius r, which is 7, okay? So 7 strikes out 7. 2 here, 1, 2 here, that is 180, okay? We have 2, that's 11. We have 2, that's 90, okay? So 3 goes here, that's 19. 3 goes here, that is 30. So on the numerator, we would have 19 times 1 times 11 times 1. So we would still have 19 times 11 over. For our denominator, we have 30 times 1, that is 30 times 1, that is 30 times 1, that is 30. So if we divide this, we would have 6.966666. So we can just make our values easier by approximating. We would have 6.97. Okay, so that's in centimeter. Okay, so now let's check our options. 6.97, option D. Question 78. So we have the figure here, okay, a triangular prism. Okay, so calculate the volume of the regular three-dimensional figure drawn above, where angle B, or you can say angle ABC, equals 90 degrees. Okay, a right angle triangle. Okay, so we have a triangular prism here. So take note very well. If we cut out this right angle triangle, okay, join me as we profile the solution. So always remember that we have several solution providers on the Myschool website where you can ask your math question on the spot, and within minutes answers will be referred back to you as you can grab easily as possible. Okay, so let's cut out the diagram, the triangle from the question. Okay, so we have a triangle ABC. ABC as 90 degrees. That's a right angle triangle, so we can use the Pythagoras theorem with side AB as 12 centimeter and the side AC as 13 centimeter. Okay, so what would we have? So remember the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so we can say A square equals B square plus C square. Or you can say hypotenuse square equals opposite square plus adjacent square. Okay, whichever one that works for you. So this makes our hypotenuse, H. This makes our adjacent, okay, and this makes our opposite. Okay, so hypotenuse square, that is 13 square, equals our opposite, which is 12 square, plus our adjacent square, so we can call that x. Okay, so we'd have 13 square, that is 169, equals 144 plus x square. All right, so let's find the value of x. So we'd have 169 minus 144 equals x square. Okay, 169 minus 144, that should give you 25. So 25 equals x square. So finding the value of x, square root both sides. So square root both sides rather. So once we square root both sides, square cancels out the square roots. So we'd have square root of 25, that is 5. So adjacent x is 5. Okay, so we have this value as 5. Okay, so the formula for a triangular prism will be half base times length times the height. So which is half of our base, that is the base here, which is 5. From the diagram, we have our length, you can see it there, that is 18 times our height, which is 12. Okay, so 2 strikes out, we have 9, okay? So 9 times 5, that is 45. 45 times 12, that gives you 540. So remember that we are asked to find the volume of the triangular prism, and that gives you your answer with the unit centimeter cube. So join me as we go through our options together. That makes option D. So don't forget that at any point or in any of the questions where you think that you can make or you can prefer better steps in solving them, please indicate the question and the steps you would like to suggest or recommend to us. Thank you. Question number 79. If sine x equals 4/5, find 1 plus cot square x over cosec square x minus 1. Okay, so join me as we provide solutions to this question. So recall that we have sine x equals 4/5. And this implies, remember your SOHCAHTOA, this implies opposites over hypotenuse. Okay, so to find our adjacent, so adjacent, remember that hypotenuse square equals opposite square plus adjacent square. Okay, so to find our adjacent, that will just be hypotenuse square minus opposite square. Okay, so we have our hypotenuse as 5 square minus, that's our adjacent, 5 square minus our 4 square. Okay, so we'd have 5 square, that is 25, minus 16, which is equals to 9. So adjacent square equals 9. So to remove the square and get our adjacent, so we square roots both sides. Okay, so that makes adjacent equals square root of 9, that is 3. Okay, so that means tan x will be equals to, which is TOA, SOHCAHTOA. Let me just indicate it here for us. This comes very handy. Okay, so that is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so that implies opposite has a value of 4 over adjacent, which is 3. So from the question, we have 1 plus cot square x. So cot means the inverse of tan. Okay, the inverse of tan. So that implies that inverse of tan means you switch side. Okay, so that will be 1 divided by tan. Okay, where our tan is 4/3, so that will be 1 divided by 4/3. Okay, so which means 1 times 3/4, which means 3/4. So if our cot x equals 3/4, therefore our cot square x, that is square of our cot square x, will be equals to 3/4 raised to power 2, isn't it? So that means 3 times 3/4 times 4, which is 3 times 3, that is 9. 4 times 4, that is 16. Okay, so that means our cot square x equals 9/16. Okay, just take note of that. Okay, so we also have in the denominator, we have cosec square x minus 1. So recall that cosec equals 1 over sine. Okay, given that our sine, all right, our sine is 4/5. So that is 1 divided by 4/5. So which implies 1 times 5/4, which is still cosec x will be equals to 5/4. So the square of this, we have cosec square x. So cosec square x will be equals to 5/4 raised to power 2, isn't it? So that will be 5 times 5 over 4 times 4. 5 times 5, that is 25, over 4 times 4, that is 16. So we'd have our cosec square x as 25/16. So let's just slot in these values into our equation. So we have to find 1 plus cot square x over cosec square x, all right, minus 1. So let's plot in our value. So that will be 1 plus cot square x. We have the value of cot square x as 9 over 16. All right, so we have over cosec square x, which is 25 over 16 minus 1. So let's find the LCMs of the numerator and the denominator separately. Okay, so just make sure you go through the steps again. I'm going to rub up this part so that we can continue with our solution. So this is very easy. It's all about practice, practice, and practice. Okay, so for the numerator, I have 1 plus 9 over 16. So that is 1 over 1 plus 9 over 16. So definitely the LCM is 16. So we'd have this 16 in 1, that is 16 times 1, that is 16, plus 16 is 16, that is 1. 1 times 9, that is 9. So for here, I would have 16 plus 9, that gives you 25 over 16. So this is for the numerator, okay? All right, so for the denominator, we have 25 over 16 minus 1. So definitely, the LCM is 16, okay? So we have 16 and 16, that is 1. 1 times 25, that gives you 25 minus 16 in 1, that is 16. 16 times minus 1, that is minus 16. Okay, so which is equals to 25 minus 16, that is 9, okay, over 16. So this is for the denominator. So now let's put them together. So we'll have 1 plus 9 over 16 over 25 over 16 minus 1 equals 25 over 16, which is the numerator over, let me write this out properly, okay, over the denominator, which is 9 over 16. 9 over 16. Okay, so this still implies 25 over 16 divided by 9 over 16, isn't it? Of course. So we'd have 25 over 16 times, when dividing this to times, they switch positions, so that will be times 16 over 9, okay? 16 strikes out 16, 25 times 1, and we have 25 over 1 times 9, that is 9. So let's go through our options. 25 over 9, that makes option B correct. So this is question 80. Evaluate 2 sine 30 plus 5 tan 60 over sine 60, leaving your answer in short form. So it is well advisable and easier to solve this question using the short form. Okay, so we have 2 sine 30 plus we have 5 tan 60 over sine 60. Okay, so in short form, sine 30 is, recall that sine 30 is 0.5, that is 1 over 2, that is 2 into bracket 1 over 2 plus 5 into bracket tan 60 is 1.732, and that is root 3. Remember, we are asked to leave our answers in short forms, okay, over sine 60, okay. So sine 60 is 0.8660, which is root 3 over 2. Is that what gotten? So 2 multiplies this, so we'll have 2 here 1, 2 here 1. So we'll have 1 plus 5 root 3 over root 3 over 2, okay? Or I can still make it this way, 1 plus 5 root 3 over, or you can say, okay, we can make this divided by root 3 over 2. All right, so we'd have 1 plus 5 root 3 times 2 over root 3. Okay, so now let me write this at the top page here. So we'd have 1 plus 5 root 3, okay, times 2 over root 3, okay, over 1. So 2 multiplies everything in the bracket. So 2 times 1, that gives you 2 plus 2 times 5, that is 10 root 3, okay, over root 3. Alright, so at this point, it is safe for us to solve this in the third way, okay, so we would have times root 3 over root 3. So root 3 will multiply the numerator and the denominator, okay, so let's just have this. So we'll open our bracket, so we have 2 root 3 times 2, that is 2 root 3 plus 10 root 3 times root 3. Root 3 times root 3, that gives you root 9. And square root of 9, that is 3. So 3 times 10, that makes 30 over root 3 times root 3, that is root 9. Square root of 9, that is 3. So if I want to break this down further, I will have 2 over 3, okay, beside root 3 plus 30 over 3, okay, 3 here 1, 3 here 10. So I would have 2 over 3 root 3 plus 10. Okay, so let's go through our options and see which of them matches with our answer. So 2 root 3 over 3 plus 10, that is option A. So we have come to the end of this segment for the 2019 JAMB Pass question for mathematics, questions 1 to 80, and I believe you have been following through, but there is more. So don't forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and tap on bell notification to get informed as we release the next videos.